they're acting a bit of racist because of the accent, the way we talk.
Okay.
Sadly, we do have a very strong accent because we were just starting in BPO, right? So I guess it's understandable for us, but for the customer, they don't know that. So my tips, suggestion for those aspiring to be hired in a BPO, they have to prepare themselves for these
Okay.
types of customers because again, it's a combination of a difficult customer, easy customer, so they get to prepared for the worst. And mostly, if it's like a telecommunication company that they are going to work with, it is really very difficult to deal with irate customers. But how do I deal with it? I just stay professional. There's always a reason why they're acting that way. It could be because they're having a situation, bad situation that they needed help with. So staying professional will help them manage and resolve the customer's concern. Still, it's
Wait a
okay.
second. I just forgot. Sometime it happens. Okay. So how are you, buddy?
Mhm. I'm doing just fine. Yeah, feeling good
Okay.
today.
And how was the weather of your country?
Well, the weather is getting better here. For the past few days, it keep raining here in the Philippines, but at least today I can see the sunlight.
Okay, great. So like when it comes to my side, so there is a kind
Hmm.
of cloudy, weather, and it may rain in few hours. Let's see what happens. So before getting into the conversation or podcast, I just want to
Hmm.
tell you one thing because in the conversation, I'm gonna ask you, it's all
Hmm.
about your English journey, your life journey, and I would be asking some, hypothetical questions and random questions that you can easily answer. It's going to be easy for you. So are
Hmm.
you ready for that?
Well, I don't have a choice but to be ready.
Okay,
So
great.
let's do it. Hmm.
So, before jumping into the conversation, I just would like to know more about yourself so I can take this conversation forward, and my audience also will get to know about you. So, would you like to
Oh.
introduce yourself?
Oh yes. So my name is Eugene Samar, but you can call me Jean. I'm 30 years old from the Philippines. I'm
Okay,
living here in Metro Manila, the capital of the Philippines, for like 10 years now.
from 10 years. Okay,
10
great.
years.
And what do you do in study and all?
Well, I have studied Bachelor of Elementary Education when I was in college. I graduated way back 2015. So now I'm working here in the Philippines, in the capital of the Philippines.
Okay, great. And like, are you working anywhere right now, or just looking for a job or doing any kind of business?
I am working. Today is Sunday, so it's our rest day. We're on a day off.
Okay. So you mentioned that like you have been living in a particular city, like the capital of your country, for last 10 years. So before that, where would you live?
Well, I'm originally from a province, Region 5 of the Philippines, um, named Bicol. So I'm originally from the province, but just for work, I came here in the capital because there are a lot of job opportunities in here compared to the province. Hmm.
Okay, got it. So like it's been more than 10 years that you have been working in the capital city of your country.
Exactly. Yes.
So if I guess you that like when you were 20 years old, since then you have been
Mhm.
working.
Uh, if when I was 21, I guess
21.
I can
And
remember it right. Yes. Way back
okay, got it.
when I was
And
21.
what about your education? Like, where did you complete your education? Did you
Um,
complete in your hometown or the capital city of Philippines?
yes, so I was able to complete or finish my studies, college studies, in our hometown, Libon Community College. It's just a very small school in the local government of my place, Libon, Albay, within the
Okay,
region. Yeah.
got it. And what about your like personality? I mean, as I can see that you have good hair, like kind of
Oh.
you seems to be a model. So like, what's secret
Oh
behind it?
no. No, no, no. I'm just, an anime fan. If you've noticed my background, I have a lot of anime posters, right? So I usually watch Japan animes, and
Okay.
I love watching a lot of series, Korean series, movies in Netflix. Somehow I was just trying to be on trend, so I put hair dye. That's why it
Okay.
looked, somehow golden.
So how often do you apply this color?
Well, I have this probably 6 months ago, and I haven't changed it yet.
6 months ago. Like it's been like 6 months and it's still looking good.
Yes, but if you've noticed, it's now showing black on the side, right? It was originally gray, but every time we wash, I wash my hair, the color fades, so
Okay,
it
like so
becomes golden.
on the
Mhm.
both side, left and right side, you didn't put the same color that you put on the center.
Yes, it was originally ash gray. That's the color.
Mm.
Yes, and then it turns somehow golden now because it fades. The color fades.
Okay, great. So I just want to ask about your job work. You are working in the capital of Philippines. So why didn't you start working in your own city where you born and brought up? Why didn't you start working in your own city? Why did you move to another city to work?
Oh yes. So as I've mentioned a while ago, there are a lot of opportunities here in the main city compared to the province. Plus, the difference between the salary wage that you will receive in the province and here in the capital, it's totally different. It's much higher here compared to the province.
Okay, that is the only reason. That's the reason you moved to another city. And
That's the reason. Yes.
are you living alone or with your wife or with your family
Oh,
member?
I'm living alone here in my apartment.
Okay. And are you married or not?
Oh, not yet.
Okay. So what's your plan for that? Like, if you would like to share with me, otherwise you can deny it. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't think, I don't have any plans yet, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
Okay. So like in your family or in your culture,
Hmm.
who do you look? I mean, girl or like as you want to get married. So would you find girl on your own or would your family will find for you?
Oh, it should be me. It should be me who's going to look for it. Yeah.
Okay, you are the one that who is going to find a girl for you yourself.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
I don't think I found the right person yet.
yeah, it's really hard in the generation.
It is really hard. There are a lot of, competitors out there, but
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think I will find it.
Yeah,
Maybe
la.
soon.
Okay, good to know that. Okay, great. So I just want to get into the your job profile, like when you move to this capital city. So
Mm-hmm.
did you how many companies did you apply for a job?
Well, to be honest, if I can remember it right, I have applied for three companies here in the Philippines. I actually applied for these companies with my friends, together with my friends.
Okay.
Um, on the first company, we were rejected
Okay,
probably
got
because
it.
of our communication skills.
Oh, really?
Yes, because
Okay,
remember,
cool. Okay.
we came from the province, right? And we do have different dialects in there, so we
Okay.
have a very strong accent. And with the company that we applied for, it is like a call center company. So we have
Okay.
to be better in English communications. Sad to
Okay.
say, when we came here, in the capital of Philippines, we're not that good. So, first company, we were rejected.
Okay.
The second company, I was hired, but my friend did not get hired.
Okay.
And
You
since
got
we came from
rejected.
the province together, we don't know where we are going to stay yet. We decided not to continue with that second company. And
Okay.
then on the third company, we were both hired.
Okay,
So from
great.
there, yes, from there, our journey started working in a BPO. So we call it BPO or business. Process
Process
outsourcing.
outsourcing, business
Oh
process
yes,
outsourcing.
right.
I'm in the
Here.
same field.
Oh, really? All right. So after, well, it's a local account. So
Okay.
we receive a very cheap salary, I would say, because it's just, uh, I guess if I would say the amount, it's like 10,000 in our currency, 10,000 pesos. It's too low. And then there are other BPO centers that offer a much higher salary. It's just on the other corner of the building where we were working. So after 6 months, I'm being regularized, and in fact, I receive an offer. I'm being promoted to be like a trainer.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yes, a trainer. But
Great.
I actually declined because even though I will be a trainer for the same company, I don't think it would pay, you know, me better
Okay.
compared to the other companies out there because it's a local account. So that is when I decided to move to another company. So I applied for this company, international company here in the Philippines. It's a technical account.
Okay.
Technical account. So the assessment is in two ways. It's like a written exam and uh, verbal interviews. For the written exam, I actually ace it because I only have one mistake. But
Okay.
for the communication assessment, I failed again.
Oh,
Probably because, again, I work in a call center, yes, but it's a local account. So we don't get to expose ourselves more in English conversation, right? So I still failed. But the interviewer um, was amazed with my score for the written exam because well, he shared it with me. According to him, among the rest of the takers of that written exam, I am the first who almost perfected the exam. And to tell you
okay.
honestly, I don't have any background when it comes to technical thing. Because I graduated taking education field, right? So it has nothing to do with technical staff or terms, something like that. But considering I'm a bit of a, I mean, I'm a tech savvy, I would say. So I know the terms. I have been exposed to it through online and social media. So I aced the exam. So they hired me, even though my communication is not that good. So I made a promise uh, that time that I will make sure my stay with the company will be productive and that I will improve. I only asked for the 6 months. But you know what? I'm still working with the same company for 10 years now.
Amazing. So now,
Mhm.
like, what's your position right now?
Oh, yes. To tell you honestly, I started as a regular agent. After 6 months, I got promoted as a subject matter expert. And then after, well, I have been um, persuaded to apply for a much higher position, but I declined because my work when I was a subject matter expert is very easy. I can do a lot. I can control my time. It's on me. But after 2 years, I was successfully persuaded by my boss to take the role as a team leader. So
Okay.
I took that role, and afterwards, I also got promoted for a much higher position, operations manager.
Great. Like you have a really good journey that you have struggled a lot initially,
Yes.
and now like you are sitting at the good position. I admire you. I appreciate you about your hard work. And really, if when it comes to me, I'm also in the same industry, like in the BPO industry. I have 5 years of experience in the BPO industry as a customer care executive, including
Mm,
domestic campaign or international. And I also would
mm.
like to tell my company's name, and my company name is also available or operating in your country, Philippines. That company name is Teleperformance.
Teleperformance. So, you know what? Teleperformance is the first company that I applied for.
Okay, great. Uh,
Yes.
great,
Mm.
great. It's good. I mean, like there are so many branches of Teleperformance across the world,
Oh,
worldwide.
yes. Yes.
So
I
yeah,
know a lot of branches here in the Philippines.
Exactly. So I love to know more about BPO industry as you have been in this industry for long period of time. So
Mm-hmm.
take an example if a person who start who wants to start their journey in the BPO industry. So
Mm-hmm.
how can that person start? Like what kind of question should they prepare for, or like what should they focus on? So can
Okay.
you elaborate?
Oh yes. So, as a starter, I suggest well, considering we are working in a customer service
Yeah.
field of work, right? So it is necessary for someone who's aspiring to work in a call center to be at least have a conversational English communication. They should be able to understand and somehow communicate in English. Um, well, the next thing is that they need to learn the product, of course, of the line of business that they're going to work with, as because it would be much easier for them to communicate if they know the product already. Then process will follow, and then they need to really practice, keep on practicing, and really expose themselves more in a conversation. We have these rules in every company here in the Philippines because we tend to use our own language here, Tagalog. But we have a rule. I mean, the English only policy. It's almost um, applied in all centers here in the Philippines, especially if it's international. They wanted to enforce English only policy to make sure that every employees adhere to it, and of course, not just adhere, but at the same time practice and expose themselves more on talking in English because we have 8 hours of working talking to the customer.
Okay, like in BPO industry, there are so many LOBs or process. Like, let me explain you. So the
Oh,
first one is we can consider the chat process, and the
mm-hmm.
second one is email process, and the third one is voice process, or the fourth
Mm-hmm.
one can consider it's a kind of blended process in which we have to handle chats, email,
Mm-hmm.
and voice too, right? So if a person wants to start their career in the field, so which process should you encourage to join? Like there are so many, like four process or thing. So which one should be better for the person who wants to get into the BPO industry
Um, just
out of
considering
four?
the process that you just mentioned,
Yeah, like four: chat process, email process, voice process, or blended process.
I think it would be best for them to take advantage of the voice process first, because listening it would enable them to practice their listening skills, and at the same time them what do you call it transcribing what they hear on that certain call or process.
Okay. Like in my career, like when I, joined into the BPO industry, at the time I struggled a lot. Like I was not able to crack the interview just because of English language, because at the time my English was pathetic. Now I'm very good at, I can crack interviews. It's easy for me, but there was a time. But still there are so many people in my country like who are struggling to crack the interview just because of English language, just because of their communication skill. Even though like I'm also helping them out, through, do you know LinkedIn? Yeah.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn,
Yes.
yeah. It's
Mm,
a
yeah, I
job
do have an account in there.
platform.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So I have more than 10,000 connection on LinkedIn.
Oh.
So what I do on that platform, I just try to help, freshers or experience to get a job. Just I try to find companies where hiring is going on. So I just try to help them and just guide them, like you have to prepare for that. Even though I also provide them questions, what are
Mm-hmm.
the questions they are gonna ask? HR and hiring managers, and I also have a lot of connection with HR hiring managers in my city. So I
Mm-hmm.
majorly focus on BPO industry, MNC companies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do. But majorly I face like majority of the people are not able to get into the international process. It's
Oh
really
yeah.
difficult for them. And even though like company also don't hire, companies don't hire freshers in an international
Oh.
campaign. Yeah, because it would be difficult for the fresher to manage. international
Mhm.
clients over the phone, over the chat, over the email. So in that situation, what would you suggest to those people? Because we have one more option, that is domestic, like in
Mm.
our own native language we can join. There are so many call centers in which
Mhm.
I mean there are domestic process, so many
Mm.
domestic process, so we can also join. According to you, what would you recommend? Because I recommend them to join domestic process. So
Mhm.
once they get experience in the domestic process for 6 months or 1 year, they can get into the international process. So
Mhm.
that's my suggestion for other person. And what's your suggestion? What would you like to give?
Yeah, I would suggest to well, I will just suggest to do the same because remember what happened to me. I also started with domestic process because
Yeah,
it's a
you
local
mentioned that.
account. That is my first job, right? When I got familiarized with the process in BPO, so I was able to build my confidence, right? So that is where I started to explore and applied for an international account. So I would do the same. I would suggest for them to really take advantage of these domestic jobs, and so that they can get to familiarize the process. And then afterwards, if they can see themselves fit already to apply for an international jobs, then go ahead. They should try. They can keep trying. There's no harm in trying. In fact, it will help them because the more you fail, that is also an opportunity for you to learn a lot and to keep yourselves improving.
Yeah, exactly. Also would recommend. I also totally agree with you. Like I would like to share an incident with you. There is a
Mm-hmm.
company named Xerox that is also popular in across the world. Like it comes under top 10. That is kind
Yep.
of KPO industry. It's similar to
Mm.
BPO. So that's
Europe.
Xerox. That is also available in USA. In many other
Mm.
countries as well. So in
Mm.
that company, I got rejected 7 times.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
and
I was
I
just
kept.
wondering, Kazi,
Yeah.
what is your role now in BPO?
Now, like to be honest, I left my last organization 1 year ago. Like I have not been working anywhere because
Oh,
I wanted to do something else. I
mm.
want to become a successful trader in stock market. I hope you know about
Oh,
stock market. Yeah.
oh yeah.
So there's a reason I left my last organization, and since last more than 1 year, I have been
Mm-hmm.
working on the stock market. So in the future, definitely I'm going to teach about stock market on my YouTube channel, on my YouTube podcast, or through social media. I want to make people financially independent. I know very well that soon it doesn't mean that I won't work for any other company. Soon I'm going to join any other organization in the BPO industry, in the same industry. But I want to
Mm-hmm.
work as a customer care executive. I don't want to get any position like team leader, trainer,
Uh-huh.
WFM,
Mm-hmm.
quality department. I don't want to get into that. But if I get into any company, if I get an good opportunity, or if
Mm-hmm.
I comfortable working in that position, so I'll be taking that position. But my intention is to work in a company in a voice process. So soon I'm definitely going to join any voice process. So my plan is to get into the healthcare process, like health, because it's a huge opportunity in healthcare process. So I
Oh yeah.
maybe like I can improve my communication skill more, as I'm also working on that. So my intention is to get into that field. And meanwhile, I'm definitely gonna teach about stock market. I'm gonna do live
Okay.
trading on social media,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanna teach them. So that's my future plan. Let's see what happens, because I've been working a lot. I've been in stock market for last 5 years. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe like I can take advantage of it and can help a lot of people out there in the
Oh
world.
yeah.
Well, and that is also my reason to learn English language, because my intention is not to make people financially independent in my own country, because there are so
Mm-hmm.
many other countries as well. There are people struggling financially. So maybe I can help them through English language, because they only know English language. I mean, they have also their own language, but this is the second language. Maybe they can speak, they understand it. So I can help them too.
Oh yes, that's actually why every time I got to talk to someone in your country with Episoden platform, I have been really spending time to help them to teach. So I am giving them the rest of the 7 minutes that we have so that they can practice. I wanted to expose them more in a conversation. So that's what I do. Just to share, I know this is your podcast. I don't want to hijack your time, but just to share with you, I was talking to an Indian guy a while ago. he actually shared with me that he got rejected um, from the company he is working with for quite a while just because of eye contacts.
Yeah, they, there are so many recruiters, HR managers, they look overall, performance. It doesn't about communication skill. There are so many people who, is
Mhm.
having very less communication skill. They are very pathetic at communication skill, but they are very good at confidence. They are good at
That's right.
personality. The way they,
Ye-
express their thoughts. Maybe they have a broken English, they have a bad command
Yes,
on
that's
communication skill,
exactly the
but
word.
the way they
Mhm.
explain, the way try to approach, with people,
Mhm.
that is phenomenal. That is, I have a lot of friends in my BPO industry, like, but their
Mhm.
communication skill is not good. They are very good at technical part, but they are sitting at good position, like managers.
I
Yeah, so manager, like a higher position. So there are so many people out there, and they haven't done, they, I mean, higher education. Still they have a position just because of their mindset, belief, their confidence, and still they are working on their communication skill. So it's not about like, uh, communication skill is required to go ahead in our any field, like. So we should have a proper mindset, strong mindset, good thought process, how to lead
Oh,
it. Yeah, so that is also good. So, like, I would like to ask a question, as you have been in the BPO industry. So what is the best thing you like about customer service field? Like, that you are, always, great, feel grateful for that.
yes. So, well, working in a customer service is a combination of um, difficult and adventurous, field because in a customer service, you got to talk to a lot of different types of people,
Yeah.
mostly irate, especially if you are working in a telecommunication company, where I am working, by the way, for the past 10 years. Um, it's challenging at the same time because, you will learn how to pacify customer and try to calm them.
Okay.
Yes.
So, like, have you ever faced such a critical situation while handling a customers, over the phone, over the chat, over the email, anywhere? So customer just comes to you and started, abusing, he's not talking to you in a well manner. So at
Mhm.
the time, how did you feel? I mean, I just want to know the worst situation of your life in the BPO industry, where you felt very bad and you thought, I don't want to work in the BPO industry. I want to leave it. I want to get into the another field. Have you faced any experience in your life in
Oh,
BPO
yes.
industry?
Oh, yes. For 10 years, it's impossible for you not to experience this kind of situation.
Okay.
I have experienced this. In fact, I can still remember one of my colleagues when we were just starting with that domestic BPO job. She cried. She logged out and she decided not to come into work the following
Okay.
day. Yes, that is because of the customer keep on cursing her, and somehow they're acting a bit of racist because of the accent, the way we talk.
Okay.
Sadly, we do have a very strong accent because we were just starting in BPO, right? So I guess it's understandable for us, but for the customer, they don't know that. So my tips, suggestion for those aspiring to be hired in a BPO, they have to prepare themselves for these
Okay.
types of customers because again it's a combination of a difficult customer, easy customer, so they get to prepared for the worst. And mostly if it's like a telecommunication company that they are going to work with, it is really very difficult to deal with irate customers. But how do I deal with it? I just stay professional. There's always a reason why they're acting that way. It could be because they're having a situation, bad situation that they needed help with. So staying professional will help them manage and resolve the customer's concern still.
Yeah, I also would like to share a beautiful moment of my life in the customer service field,
Okay.
because there was a time when I was working in a domestic process and local process. So at the time, that was a kind of, Airtel broadband process, like kind of server process, in which like we have to help them, in order to, if they are facing any network issue, internet issue, so we would help them. So there was a lady, there was a very old lady, like 80 years old, more than 80 years old, and she was alone. I mean, her, son or daughter uh, were living in USA, and she was alone, staying, alone at her home. So she would speak in English language, and my English was pathetic. But in our process, I was told that you have to start your conversation, your pitch in English language. So once we start in, like, we have to welcome that, yeah, welcome to, and all, like, once we started, so we have to speak in English. If a customer is speaking English, you have to speak in English, till the end. If customer starts speaking native language, so we can talk to in native language. So she starts to speak in English language, and her English was phenomenal, because she is so educated. She was so educated. I mean, so her accent was like very difficult, very hard for me. And during the call, that call, like, we had a, I mean, 50 minutes call, and she started teaching me about English language. She started about teaching me about the pronunciation, because I was making a lot of mistakes, and I was, very happy at the time, because that was a new process for me, and that was a new company. That was a kind of a startup company. So our call were, no, was not being recorded. So
Oh,
there's the reason I just felt very, good. So she, told me a lot of things. She, taught me about pronunciation, and like and that was a phenomenal, experience of mine, that I have experienced in the BPO industry, and I loved it. And there's a
mm,
reason I love talking to people, and working in a BPO industry. There's a reason I gave my precious time of life, 5 years in the BPO industry. So I love it. So if you want to ask any question, like, you can also ask, because I have a lot of question. And I also would like to know that, how much time can you give, so I can take this conversation forward. Otherwise we can wrap up the conversation. Yeah, it depends on
yes.
you.
Well, we still have, I guess, 15 more minutes before
15.
I ended the session. Yes, so you can still ask a few questions about BPO or any questions.
Okay, no, so great. So just I wanna ask about yourself, your life. When you are a child, at the time you would
Mhm.
live in your own city, and you moved to another city, before 10 years ago. So how was your life in your, born city, where you were born, born, and now you are living in another city? So what is the difference between both the cities, and how are you feeling right now? Do you really miss your I mean, like, born city, where you,
Yeah, my hometown.
your
I mean,
hometown?
yeah, I miss them because my family is in there, so I miss them a lot. Although we have these communications now, right? I can just call them through social media, so at least it helps alleviate the boredom and me missing them. So the difference, by the way, of me, my life in my hometown versus here in the capital, it's too big. There's a huge difference. So back then, we were actually struggling financially, and that is the main reason why I got motivated to finish my studies and be able to find a job as soon as possible. As soon as I graduated, I really decided to find a job because, again, I wanted to help my family to become stable. So at least now I would say that we are now financially stable because we were able to um, purchase a lot of a lot of what do you call this? We were actually farming in the province, so we were able to buy a land where we um, plant crops, rice, and other plants in there. So they're able to make use of it productively.
Okay. So, like, when it comes to capital city of Philippines, so like when it comes to other countries, so capital cities always seems to be, very expensive. So
Oh,
how do you manage your expenses in, living in capital city of your country?
well, I think I'm receiving enough, just enough salary, so I can manage. Um, I am actually doing, some budgeting every month. So every time I get to receive my salary, I would allot a portion of it for the savings, for health, and at the same time for the actual budget that I have for the month. I also been allotting for my family in the province. I've been sending them financial assistance as well.
Okay. But right now you're talking about today's time, like the current situation of yours. But I want to
Oh,
know when you moved to this city, because at the time you started
oh.
new career, in your life. So at the time, how was the struggle of your life?
Well, at first, first month is really difficult because we don't have enough funds, money when we move here. So we were just depending on the first month salary that we are going to receive from that company. It's very hard. Good thing that the place I am living now is actually an apartment owned by a relatives. So we were able to, negotiate. They asked for the rent probably after 6 months of me working in there. So it helps a lot. And then afterwards, that is where I started paying the rent and the electricity and water. So it becomes better and better after that.
Okay, great. So I just want to know about the freshers who wants to get into the BP industry, because there are so many people, in my country or across the world. They are giving interviews, one by one, one by one. They have given more than 10 interviews. They are still not, got selected. I mean, so now they are losing hope. They always complain that our communication skill is not good, and it's impossible to improve, to enhance, because since childhood we have been talking in our native language. So now how can we learn English language? How to crack the interview? And they are giving interviews that they are getting rejected. So like how to be motivated in that situation, because they also need money, financial support
Mm.
as well. So in that situation, what would you suggest? Would you suggest to work in a labor work, like a kind of lower work, or would you suggest them to continue their journey and giving interviews and get the experience from their failure? What would you suggest?
Well, at first, for those who have been through a lot of interviews and sad to say they got rejected, they gotta listen. They get to understand why, in the first place, they are being rejected. It could be like a personal issue, or it's just like an opportunity that they need to improve. And from there, they need to really assess themselves if they are really fit for the job that they're applying for or not. If not, then there are ample time for them to practice or to prepare themselves. But they don't they don't need to be demotivated if they will not be hired or if they will be rejected. That's part of the process. They really need to keep on improving and apply again. But while waiting, yes, they can take domestic jobs or maybe other jobs that would help them improve specific, behavior or characteristic that they're working on. If it's communication, then they can apply for any job that requires talking or speaking to a client or customer.
Okay, they should always learn from their failure. I mean, like suppose I am the failure. I'm just fresher and I want to get into any job. It's not about BPO. Suppose I'm going to get into any field. So I'm just going for an interview, and I just get rejected because HR or manager asked the question that I don't know, and I just got fumbled, and he or she got rejected me. In the situation, what I have to do, I have to pick that question that were asked, at the situation, though whatever the question were asked. So I have to pick that question and I have to prepare that question as well. And meanwhile I have to give another interview, and suppose I have to give continuously interview. For suppose I have given 10 interviews and I got rejected, so now I will have a lot more than 20 questions that I can prepare for that. And in
That's
11th interview, I can be prepared and can crack the interviews. Maybe like so they should have this kind of mindset as well. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you. It helps me a lot. Remember, I have applied for three companies. So every companies that I'm applying for back then, I have been taking notes of the specific questions, the interview questions that is being asked to me, so I can prepare. And prior to taking the interview, because I believe there is like a schedule, right, of when are you going to be interviewed, then find time to prepare. um, we have this Google search engine that they can use. We also have AI, right? They can find time to prepare themselves by at least checking for the frequently asked questions for specific task or job that they're applying for.
Okay,
And I
got it.
would not recommend for them to memorize their answer because it would be a lot more difficult if they were given a different question. So instead, just do some skimming, scanning. I guess that would help. At least they get to familiarize with the question.
Yeah, great. I'm totally agree with you. I'm on the same page, and I hope Jane advice would help everyone like who want to get into the any kind of field or especially in the BPO industry because he's having a lot of experience and good experience. Is and now just I'm going to ask hypothetical questions and in which you have to think, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really easy. Not you don't have to be put. I mean a lot of pressure like put so now I just want to ask that how much money do you have required to survive in your capital city of Philippines if you have to survive for a 24 hours? So how much money is required for you now?
24 hours. Well, it depends, I guess, on your way of living. In my case, I don't spend a lot. I cook my food. Um, I would say 200 in our
200.
currency. I would say 200 pesos.
Okay, got it. So now like if you are given only 50 rupees in your currency and you have to survive for 24 hours and you right now you don't have any food at your home, you have to buy each and everything from market. How would you survive and what would you eat with that 50 rupees and you have to survive for 24 hours?
50 rupees, or let's say 50 pesos in our
Yeah, yeah,
current.
in your currency.
Yeah. Well, I think I would survive because again, I have lived for a long time in the province where we were struggling financially. There are times where we don't get to eat. So, although I have that 50 pesos, right? So I would use it um, probably to purchase low cost item that would help me survive the day.
And I want to know what type of like food would you purchase? Like I want to know the name of those food. If I maybe like I don't know, but I want to know.
All right. Well, we have what we called here. It's like a noodle.
Noodles. I love
Yeah.
it. I eat a lot.
So we have these noodles. I guess right now the SRP it would only cost us like 20 pesos. So I have 50, right? And we only need to survive for the next 24 hours, right? So I can maybe use 20 pesos to buy this noodle, and then I
Okay.
can divide. I can cook these noodles twice for the day, and
Okay.
then for the remaining amount, I can maybe buy bread.
Rent? What?
Yes, just bread.
Bed.
Pan. Yes,
Bread.
bread. Yes.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Like it's been long time I haven't had bread. I mean, like it's been more than 4 to 5 years. I
Okay.
haven't had. Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, but whenever I would have bread, so I would have with
With
egg.
egg.
Yeah, yeah. So I would eat. Yeah, great. And now, like, if you're given 1 crore rupees in your currency, how would you spend? And you have to spend
Oh.
offline. One
How
crore,
much?
one CR.
Um, how much is that?
How much is that? Um, what do you understand 1 lakh in your currency?
No.
More like, okay, 10,000.
10,000. Okay, yeah.
You have to 10x that money.
Okay.
You have to 10x that money, okay? And now you have that much money, and you have to survive. I mean, you have to spend that money within 24 hours, and you don't have to purchase anything online. You have to purchase everything offline, and you cannot purchase land, big things. You cannot invest in stock market. So how would you spend that money?
Well, uh, first, I would categorize my needs. So I will start by identifying what I need, and well, for sure it's food. Food is necessity, right? So I would prepare for a food for the next 24 hours. Afterwards, I would use the remaining money to purchase maybe clothes,
Okay.
shoes, yeah, anything that I normally use on a day-to-day basis, especially at work.
So like it's really impossible to spend all the money, right? Do you really think can you spend
I mean, if it's
oh,
just like 10,000 pesos, yes, I can spend it in one day.
in one day? Okay, yeah. If it is 10,000, then we can spend, but it's more like 10x than
Yeah.
1,000. So it's
Yeah, well, if
impossible, or it's
more
possible.
than that, yeah, I would agree. It's impossible if it's more than that. Because, you know, if we have a lot of things already, then what are we going to purchase with that money? Right.
Exactly. Okay, great. So like now I'm just going to wrap up this conversation, but before wrap up this conversation, I'm gonna ask five rapid fire questions that you have to answer. So the
Okay.
my first question goes to you, is that what is the best piece of advice you have ever heard or received?
The best piece of advice. Yeah, so working in a BPO for 10 years, I have met a lot of people, a lot of great leaders as well. One thing that I have learned from them is that if you wanted others to succeed, aside from showing yourself as an example, you need to motivate them. You need to help them improve. So, in my case, because I have been leading for quite some time now, right? Um, I used to show them how to do things
Okay.
because I understand everyone has a different learning style. But I think it would be better if I would be able to show them, and then afterwards I would ask them to do it so they can really execute. Right.
I love it. I love it. Okay. My second question is that what is the worst advice you have ever heard or received?
The first ever advice.
Worst,
Um,
worst
yes,
advice.
was advice. Um, well, when I was just starting as a leader, I keep on shouting. That's it's like a bad habit of being a leader, right? So I was given this advice to stop doing that. So
Okay.
after I have received this, feedback, this advice, then yes, I stop, and it helps. It works because I get to create like a connection with my team, with my subordinate.
Okay. Great. Okay. So my third question is that if you could change one law across the world, what would you do? What law would you change for 24 hours
One law. Oh my gosh, this is really hypothetical. One law that would apply globally.
globally? Yeah, exactly. Globally.
Yes. I can't think of any law that I would like to change. Um, Maybe I would. Well, I'm not sure if it's a law. But I think I will propose a law to somehow limit um, the earning or savings of certain individuals. so that if they do have so much, then the rest of the other people who's not receiving that much will be able to earn,
Okay.
like to
Great. Great.
redistribute their earnings, something like that.
Yeah, it's good. Like you think about financially a lot, like for people as
Oh,
well. Like because in the world there are so many people who are struggling financially.
that's
I
right.
love it.
Mm.
I also do like kind of things. I love it. And so my fourth question is that if I mean just if you have any bad habit that you still pursue, still that you still have, and you want to remove that habit from your life, but you are not able to remove due to XY reason. So, what is that habit that you would like to just stop? If you have any bad habit,
Bad habit. Well, um, I guess it's not a bad habit, but um, I get
it could be
to,
any. It could be any habit that you have right now, but you want to stop it because it's causing a lot. It's making problems.
to be honest, I can't think of any bad habit anymore.
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think
So
I was able to, stop it somehow.
okay, got it. So my last and final list question is that what is the best piece of best lesson that you have learned from your life? What is the best lesson you have learned from your life?
Well, living in here, existing in Earth for like 30 years already. The best lesson I guess that I have learned is that um, if you wanted to achieve something, you need to work for it and
Okay.
understand that it wouldn't be easy. And also, always expect for the worst, because if you know the worst, you can always prepare for it. Just to share, I'm not sure if you have heard this before, but I love this principle. It's like a Stoic principle.
What
Um,
is it?
the Stoic principle is called, um, I forgot the name. It's like a Greek word, something like that. But this principle states that, well, it talks about you preparing for the work, something like that. So you
Okay.
have to prepare, yeah. I actually forgot the name of this principle, but I will look for it.
Okay. So like I also would like to quote that is my best quote that I have ever
Hmm.
heard in my life is that you don't have to be good to start. You have to start to be good.
Oh yes, I would
Correct?
agree with
Yeah,
you.
exactly. So, I hope it was a nice conversation and like you also enjoyed it. But before wrap up this conversation, I just would like to ask you that if you have any questions for me, you can feel free to ask, and I would love to answer that.
Oh yeah. I don't have any question, but yes, I was able to remember the name of the principle. So it's called premeditatio malorum. So it's the art of negative visualization. So you visualize things in a negative way, because your goal is to make sure that this negative thing will not happen. Or if it happens, at least you are prepared to deal with it. So that's
You
it.
know, I love it because I also follow visualization, and it helps a lot in me. Like I think, like every day I think something and it happens after a few days. It doesn't happen the same day, but it happens later on. So I love it and I agree on that and I follow this technique as well. So I hope and I would like to thank you so much. You know, I'm glad to have you on my podcast and I enjoyed a lot. You shared beautiful experience of yours and I hope if any person who's watching this video till now they can learn something from out of you and will help them a lot in their life. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you as well, Vikas. And I hope that they have learned something, um, you know, during this podcast. So thank you as well.